Let's go ahead and get the meeting started. Hello, everybody. Happy holidays. Merry Christmas. All the different holiday events that everybody is celebrating. I hope you guys are enjoying the season. And I know it's a especially busy time of the year for many of the, well, probably most or all the organizations in this space, because there are a lot of events that are happening on top of the work that you all do in terms of, trying to coordinate holiday events and presents and meals and all kinds of extra things for folks in the community. So I just want to thank you for all the extra added love and care that goes on this time of the year. It is our last meeting of 2025. So welcome to the December 17th, 2025 Continuum of Care meeting. And I'll say it at the end in case some people miss it, but we are dark next month. So you get a little breather because this is the end of the year and a lot of stuff is happening. So we'll go ahead and jump right in. Calling the meeting to order again. If you are a voting member, please remember to go to the top of the string where you'll see Zuli pasted in the roll call link, and make sure that you do register for that so that we can have a quorum. I would like to go ahead and mention that we do have some new members. And I'll mention the new members and then ask if any of you are in the house when I get to the end of 1.2. So I'm always super excited to see new members and new voting members. So let's go with Vet Phoenix, Elmira, Oasis Treatment Center and Foster Agency, Strides LLC, Hope Villages, and the City of Banning. Are any of you in the house? Don't be shy. Let us know.
City of Banning, Colleen Wallace. Woo woo.
Oh, hey, welcome.
And happy holidays. I'm Bria Garrett from Strides. I'm here with a PowerPoint presentation finally.
Oh, good. Welcome. We're so happy to have you. Anybody else of new members?
Lisa
Yes,
with Hope Village, California.
Okay.
Pleasure to be here.
Anybody else?
Joshua
Okay.
Squires, Riverside, California, Restoration Transitional Supportive Housing Program.
Okay, let me move on to new voting members. We have the Riverside County Office of Education, Next Level Living Residence, and Operation Grace. Are any of you in the house today as new voting members? Please let us know.
Yes, hi, I'm here. This is Neha Shapatel from Riverside County Office of Education.
Thank you, Neha. It's so great to have you at the table with us. You do important work coordinating with all the homeless liaisons and all of the different school districts throughout the region. How many school districts do we have? Do you know off the top of your head?
Yes, so we have 23 school districts, but RCOE also has school alternate education programs, so we count them as 24. And then we have about 30 some charter schools.
Wow. Well, happy to be working with you and excited to see you guys as a voting member. You do very, very important work, and it's great to have cross collaboration. All the different agencies in the continuum of care that provide a multitude of resources can be a great support to all of those families and homeless children and youth that are served in the district. So thank you.
Definitely. Yes, thank you for having me. And I'm new as a voting member, so I'm still learning, and let me know what I need to do or not do.
Well, anything we can do to help you and be supportive, just let us know, okay?
Okay, thank you.
All right, let's go ahead and move on to the next agenda item. Public comments. Zuli, do we have any written comments?
No.
Okay. For those of you, if there were written comments, the staff would always post them to the Google Drive, so you have full access to those. At this time, if there are any folks that want to make a public comment for items that are not on agenda, you have up to 3 minutes to make a comment. Are there any public comments? Please raise your hand. Okay. Hearing none, We'll go ahead and move on to the next. Becky, did you have a public comment? Looks like you're on mute, Becky. Are you there, Becky? She must be having technical difficulties. Okay, we can, if you work out your technical issues. Oh, she can't get her mic to work. Becky, if there's something you want to post in the chat, because your mic's not working and you can hear us, please feel free to do that. We'd love to hear from you. This is the meeting for everybody, and we want to make sure if you have a public comment, we want to hear it. Anybody else? Okay, let's go ahead and move on to the next agenda item. Agenda item number 3, 2025 Board of Governance nominee introductions. Tanya, are you handling this?
I am. Thank you, Madam Chair. Good afternoon, everyone. Tanya Torno, Deputy Director with Riverside County's Office of Homeless Services. And we are eager to share with you the 4 nominees that we received to support or fill 2 vacant seats that we have on our Board of Governance. As you may know, our Continuum of Care Board plays a critical role in supporting, overseeing our homeless action plan and making sure that we're aligning federal, state, and other resources that come to the Continuum of Care to support our homeless response efforts. And of the 2 seats that we currently have available, actually both are public, but one is a university seat and one is a government seat. And as it has been our practice, we have invited the individuals that you have nominated, because as a reminder, we always seek nominations from this body, from all of you. And we've invited all of the nominees to spend some time with us today and to share on their interest. So Zuli, you'll have to remind me, how much time are we giving each nominee to present?
3 to 4 minutes. We only have 4.
Okay, perfect. So we'll go ahead and start with, actually, let me go ahead and name all of the nominees. I know I said 3, Zoli's right, there's 4. So I'll start off by just naming all 4 before we begin. We have Colleen Wallace, Banning City Council member, again, nominated for a public sector government seat. For this same seat, we also have Ricardo Guerrero from the office of Senator Sabrina Cervantes. And also for this seat, we have Brian Ambroise, City of Murrieta Community Services Director. And then for the public sector university seat, we have nominee Angie Gordon from Moreno Valley College. So with that, we'll go ahead and hear from Council Member Colleen Wallace. If you're with us, we'd love to hear from you. I think I do see you in the room. We'd love to hear from you regarding your interest. Thank you for joining us.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Colleen Wallace. I had been a member when I first got on City Council in 2018. Well, it was 2019, where me and the city manager were members. And then I every now and then I get back on, but I'm so busy doing other stuff. It's like, okay, now I got to go back to continuum of care because I worked in the field with helping homeless teenagers and families. And I really would love to be in this seat. One thing, when we first got homeless, getting bad here in Banning, I used to take food and stuff, and they would come up to me and say, "Aren't you on city council?" I'm like, "Yeah, I am." And they like, "Nobody's ever treated us like that." And I'm like, "You're human. You know what I'm saying? Everybody needs to eat." And like about 15 of them asked me, we really need help. So I reached out and started helping them to get back on their feet. Some of them have gotten on their feet, some have led off back into the world, but I have hope that people and God will bring them back to where they need to be. So I am very interested in being on this board, and I appreciate you for the time and thank you for having me tonight. Woo woo!
Thank you so much, Councilmember Wallace. Can't help but smile with after hearing that presentation. We'll turn it over to Ricardo Guerrero from Office of Senator Sabrina Cervantes.
Good afternoon, everyone. How can I match that energy? First of all, come on. I need that. It's been a long day for me. I could use that energy. Please pass it on, Colin. My name is Ricardo Guerrero. I'm a district representative for State Senator Sabrina Cervantes. For her in her office, I do cover Moreno Valley, Paris areas, and I also I cover Health and Human Services. I feel like I'm just jumping around everywhere right now, and I apologize. So my background, kind of just coming into before working with the senator, I was under Senator Richard Roth right before he termed out, and then I was lucky enough where Senator Cervantes wanted to continue to take me on her team and continue the good work that I was already doing for the senator. My main area is Health and Human Services because my background is in Health and Human Services. I actually worked for the County of Riverside Department of Public Social Services for 13 years. I started out as an employment services counselor with them, where and I started in 2010, so it was like in the middle of the recession timeframe. So it was a really hard time to get hear the stories from community members that were that came from 20 years of careers. I actually met a dentist that he unfortunately had to close down business and had to jump onto welfare. So it was just very interesting to reformat the old teachings that the Welfare to Work had at the time. So I was part of their program as well, where I helped redid a lot of their class. I worked in the Cathedral City and the Hot Spring offices, where I incorporated new. We used to use VHS. I'm like, no, let's use a different type of electronics. So I started incorporating different local agencies so that they can come over, or local or companies to come and present for my recipients. I also help incorporate a GED program into the Welfare to Work program out there. After that, I was promoted to Children's Services. I was a social service practitioner for Children's Services. I started with a relative assessment unit, which later on became Resource Family Approval, which I was part of. So that transition and helping kind of work with the new directives that kept changing every other week. I would assess family members that wanted to get placement of their next of kin that were in the system, that were under protective custody. I also worked placement, where I would pair up children that are in foster to right placements, so we can help secure permanent and long-term placement for them, or just eventually where they transition out to the family members or back to family. One of my last stretch that I did with the county, I worked for the command post unit, which is the after hours response unit. I was out and about from 3 o'clock in the afternoon to 1 o'clock in the morning, whether it would be police officers, serving late night warrants, finding placement for the kiddos. It was a very interesting time. Of course, we did more than just that. It's whenever we had teenagers that were homeless, the goal was to obviously find them somewhere where they can stabilize themselves and help them out. So eventually I transitioned out to working for the Senate. This is my passion, working with people, helping out the homeless community, helping out how to be able to close the gap, fix the issues. Resources are very limited out there, and I feel like more and more it's getting tighter. But I definitely love to be a part of this amazing team where I can somehow be an influence and a help to wherever I can help close that gap, especially continue on the good work I've done with Children's Services. Thank you for your time. I do apologize. I am in my car. I am in an event. My coworkers over there are dealing with the table, but I'll eventually go and see them right now. Thank you.
Thank you, Ricardo. We so appreciate that. And as with all the other candidates, value your commitment to joining us today and your interest. Next, I'll introduce Brian Ambroy, City of Marietta Community Services Director.
All right. Well, again, I hope I can match the energy of the two previous to me. It's great to see the qualifications here for this seat. So we're just real happy to see that. I appreciate the time to present in front of each of you. My name's Brian Ambrose. I serve as the Director of Community Services here at the City of Murrieta. So I oversee our Parks and Recreation Department, the Murrieta Public Library, and Homeless Services. Homeless Services is something that I'm very passionate about because I helped create the program back in about 2016. And if I can kind of paint a picture back then, this is right around the time of Martin v. Boise. We did not have any HUD funded beds. We had very little homeless resources in Southwest Riverside County. So when I first got involved in 2016 and 2017, going out to encampments, it was a matter of us just trying to call and contact anyone at the county to try to find out where to transport someone. We transported ourselves back then. So it was common for me to drive up the Path of Life, drive to Hemet. There were times I drove out to the desert to take people to their resources. That's what we started in. The cities of Temecula and Murrieta started collaborating at the end of 2016 into 2017. And that began a partnership that has since grown into a 5-city collaboration called the Regional Homeless Alliance in Southwest Riverside County. But from those very humble beginnings, just in the city of Murrieta, we were able to form a community policing team, which literally started off with like 2 police officers that would go out to encampments with me. It is now a 4-member community policing team overseen by a sergeant. And these are specially trained police officers. They are handpicked by our chief of police that have the ability and the personality to work in homeless services. With the city of Temecula, we were the first 2 cities in Southwest County to form our community behavioral health teams, our CBAT teams. What was interesting when we first formed both of them, Temecula had one, we had one, is we have mutual aid between the 2 cities. So they regularly will fill in for each other. We also initiated full-time street outreach. We currently use CityNet. We were able to form a partnership with a nonprofit down here called Project Touch. And so we now have emergency shelter beds and transitional housing through Project Touch. And Murrieta pays for a case manager through actually 2 case managers through CityNet that are stationed in Project Touch's shelter. Their entire purpose is housing sustainability for clients at the shelter. In addition to that, one thing I'm very proud of, in the 17 years I've been at the city of Murrieta, we had not had an affordable housing project constructed in our city. I'm very happy to say that as of this year, 2 have been fully constructed and have opened their doors to families. Now, our staff, and by our staff, I mean Lindsay Sisti, who many of you probably know, took it upon herself to work with the developer, to work with Murrieta Valley School District, and with our planning department to bring all 3 of them together to help fill those units with families with children in the school districts. Because prior to that, if a family applied for affordable housing, they were shipped out to Desert Hot Springs, Hemet, Blythe. They did not stay in Murrieta. But I'm really proud of the fact that now 2 units have been completed, are filled. And I don't know the exact number, but I'm going to say it's somewhere between 50 and 70 children in the school districts are living in those complexes. And more importantly, we now have a whole bunch of affordable housing units in the pipeline, which if you knew our city council a few years ago, and you knew the miracle that would have had to happen to allow these to be sited in our city, it's something to be incredibly proud of. And then also something I'm proud of is 2 years ago, we formed a MOU with the city of Wildomar, our neighbor, to provide street outreach services and case management services for the city of Wildomar. City of Wildomar is a smaller city. They don't need full-time street outreach and the cost that's associated with that. Now, before you think I'm some kind of a genius, I literally did nothing more than steal Karen Roper's MOU between Corona and Norco and change the names. But it worked, and she walked me through what they did up there, and it has been an incredible partnership where Wildomar receives quality, accessible homeless services for their city, and again, it's going great. That's just Murrieta. In addition, like I said, we formed the Regional Homeless Alliance. So this is now 5 cities that are working together. What I'm really proud about is a few years ago, we were able to get a $500,000 appropriation with the support of Congressman Ken Calvert, where we completed a regional homeless action plan among the 5 cities. That is our guiding document to this day. And I think that that document was very important, that when we partnered with Tanya and and our county partners, we were able to receive a $12 million encampment resolution fund grant. That is going unbelievably well. Tanya, feel free to jump in and correct me if I'm wrong, but I think what we committed over a 3-year period, in 10 months, we've almost reached those goals. We have created a seamless, comprehensive street outreach to case management, to emergency shelter, to permanent housing platform down in the Southwest Riverside County, that if you saw what we had back in 2016 compared to what we have today, it's a monumental change. And so if I am selected for this position on the board, I will fight for regionalization of services, basically to just knock off the city siloed approaches that a lot of cities are taking, and make sure that we are working as partners throughout the region, and drop the borders to help homeless individuals get off the street and get them to the resources they need, which will eventually lead to housing sustainability. So with that, I probably took way more time than I was supposed to, so I appreciate everybody's time.
That was great. Thank you, Ryan. I like everyone else, and just really enjoying hearing about everyone's true and bold commitment to this work. Next, we will hear from Angie Gordon, Moreno Valley College Program Manager, who has been nominated for our university seat.
Tanya, I think that, I don't know if Matt had a question about the public. So it looks like Matt and Becky, did you have questions about the candidates?
No, I was waiting till it was all over. Becky texted me and wanted me to let you know her mic was working and wanted to see if she could. Okay. But I was going to wait till after this was done. Okay, sounds good. Thanks. Sorry about that, Tanya.
No, you're a great facilitator. Thanks for paying attention to what's happening in the queue. Angie Gordon from Moreno Valley College, who is the program manager there. We'd love to hear from you.
Thank you so much. Good afternoon, everyone. My name's Angie Gordon. I am the program manager for Basic Needs and Wellness at Moreno Valley College. I am also an associate professor for human services here at the college as well. And so I am excited about this nomination and the opportunity to speak to you all today and realize the importance of this seat. I really respect the fact that there is a seat for colleges and universities. So I want to give you just a little background about myself. I am a single mom of 4 kids. 2 are adults, not the house, and 2 are teenagers. And I really had to go on this long journey as a very young, a 19-year-old single mom to pursue my education and to get to a place of self-sufficiency. And along that course, I ended up at the County of Riverside working with self-sufficiency, and I just worked my way up as an eligibility technician all the way up to regional manager when I left my position there. And so I was there for years. I kind of bounced around between Riverside and San Bernardino County, but I did that work for over 20 years. And while I was there, because of my own experiences, not just as the worker, but also being a recipient of public benefits and having my own challenges where I was, working and living paycheck to paycheck. Once I got to a place of where I was really stable, I knew that I wanted to work on, my work needed to fix the problem of generational wealth and breaking generational poverty. And during my tenure as a regional manager, I got connected to Riverside Community College District through CalWorks and Welfare to Work. And then the light bulb went on, and I'm like, I need to bridge higher ed and social services because we are serving the same community and the same people, just from different lenses. And so that's how I landed here at Moreno Valley College. Basic Needs and Wellness is a new program that provides support to all students with housing and food insecurity. I have been here for 3 years since I transitioned from CPSS, and I was the first inaugural program manager. I had to literally build the program from ground up. And so since I've been here in my tenure, I have been able to create an on-campus food market for students where they are able to go shopping 100% for free once a month and get groceries. And then they're also able to get a daily meal or snack as well, because our commitment is to make sure that every student has access to at least one meal a day. I've also been able to establish a emergency shelter program with some partner hotels in the city so that students that are unhoused, we are able to provide them with support. And in the meantime, I created a holistic case management program. So my case managers work with those students and then help them get connected. And through that connection is how I got connected to COC and Home Connect. And then we learned about YHDP, and I'm happy to say we are a proud YHDP subrecipient. So COC is new for me within the past year, but I am very passionate about it because of the students in the community that we serve. I just wanted to give you a little bit of data because I think that's one of the unique things of this seat that I'm able to bring from the university and college perspective. And so we've done data statewide with the community colleges, and we know that 22% of our just Moreno Valley College students are experiencing literal homelessness. And then we also know that nearly 7 out of 10 of our community college students here at Moreno Valley College are experiencing some form of housing insecurity. That homelessness and housing insecurity is higher for Moreno Valley College than the state average of all of the California community colleges. So the need is there. The advocacy that I would want to bring and understanding I really am a sponge in this role. I would want to learn more about what we're doing and offering within the community and the opportunity to be able to steer those conversations and decisions. I'm honored to be, hopefully to be a part of. So thank you for your time.
Thank you, Becky. Beautiful words, and truly from all of our candidates. I think we're all walking away inspired, and our office can confirm that we've worked with all 4 of these candidates that you've heard from. They are all excellent choices and would represent the continuum of care, all of you and the board very, very well. So in closing, we will be sending out an email with the ballots for our continuum of care voting members to vote. You will have through January 9th to submit again your votes for the 2 seats that are available. Again, one public government seat and then one public university seat, and we'll make sure that the ballot is organized clearly for you to select from. Again, each of the 4 candidates. So thank you again to everyone who joined us, and we'll be in touch with you at the meeting in February to share with you who has been voted in. Thank you again.
Thank you, Ms. Tanya. Becky, did you have a question about the candidates, or did you want to go back to your public comment?
I don't know why I have such trouble with my mic. Yes, it was for public comments, not about the candidates, but they all sound very good.
Okay, please feel free. Oh, you're muted again, my dear.
I didn't do anything. Okay, there we go. I'm Becky Watley with Watley Strategies, and I'm working with the Riverside Housing Development Corporation. I'm not sure if they're a member or not. I thought I looked through the roster, but they might have been on calls before. We have just applied with the state for the Home Key Plus funding, and we received a letter awarding us $20 million, which is really fabulous. However, the Riverside City Council will meet on January 13th to determine whether or not to move forward with this project and actually accept that $20 million. And right now, it's very iffy that we'll get the votes needed. We're about 1 vote short. We need 4, and we know 3 will vote yes. The other ones are concerned about the project for various reasons. Those of you that work with permanent supportive housing will know that there's a bias against it to a certain extent. The hotel in question, because this is a hotel conversion, that's how HUD or how the Home Key funding is set up, is the Quality Inn at 1560 University Avenue, the corner of Chicago and University. It's in an area that is surrounded by retail and dining that caters to a low income. You'll see a lot of EBT accepted signs in the windows. There's a grocery outlet, a Food for Less, a 99-cent store, a Dollar Tree, and various other retail establishments that, as I mentioned, cater to low income, but for some reason they anticipate that this will be hurtful to business as opposed to helpful. And we feel that the businesses surrounding this hotel that will then become University Terrace homes with 114 new residents holding their EBT cards, ready to buy shampoo and toothpaste and toilet paper and all the sundry items that they'll need for their new home, that most of the stores and businesses around there will welcome them. Not to mention the fact that there are 6 bus stops nearby, that there's a community center, a public library, neighborhood medical clinics, dental clinics, a vet for their pets. All of this within walking distance, less than a half mile. So if anyone wants to support us, if you can call the Riverside City Council and let them know that you're in favor of this. If you can have anyone you know that lives in Riverside do that, as many people as possible that we can get supporting this would be great. Because right now we have a lot of NIMBY opposition. In fact, even the Chamber of Commerce is looking at potentially opposing this project moving forward. $20 million we'll have to refuse, and it's just ridiculous. More than 300 people on our waiting list in the city of Riverside. We could take 114 a year from now if this project moves forward. So I just wanted to share that with you and ask for your support. Thank you.
Thank you, Becky. What congratulations. Sounds like a great opportunity. And it's good that you were able to talk to everybody about this very important project. So thank you for taking the time to provide public comments. Lee, did you have a question about Becky's comment or another public comment?
No, just a question. Can you send out an email blast about that? So that way I can circulate some of that information out to not only our participants, but our partners as well, Becky?
Yeah, so Becky, if you want to coordinate with the Continuum of Care staff, they can follow up to get the information out. It's an exciting announcement to the Continuum of Care. So
We'll absolutely do that. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. Anybody else? Okay. We'll go ahead and move on to the next agenda item. The leadership spotlight. I have the privilege of introducing Gina Marasco. Many of you already know her because she's coordinates with so many of you and is a regular participant in the Continuum of Care. Let me tell you a little bit about what Gina does. She's been with the county since 2013, and she began her public service career in behavioral health, where she developed a strong foundation working with individuals and families with complex and high barrier needs. In 2016, she joined Housing and Workforce Solutions Housing Authority and currently serves as the principal of the Special Programs Unit. Now, here's where it gets really exciting. Are you guys ready? She provides leadership and oversight for more than 12 HUD and state-funded housing programs, administering over $10 million in funding. Her areas of responsibility include the HSP, otherwise Housing Support Program with DPSS, HUD BASH in collaboration with the VA, as well as mainstream and HOPWA programs. And she is responsible for ensuring regulatory compliance, fiscal accountability, and strong program performance. So I know you're going to be excited to hear from her. So Gina, the floor is yours, my dear.
All right. Well, thank you, Karen. I appreciate you. And thank you again for inviting me to this space. So that way I could go ahead and present on a couple of our programs here. So again, my name is Gina Morosco, and I am the principal supervisor with the Special Programs Unit with the Housing Authority. And today I'm going to present on 3 of our programs. So if we can proceed to the next slide, please. All right, so today I'm going to go and cover HSP, is our housing support program, our VASH program, Veteran Affairs Supportive Housing, and HOPWA. Next slide, please. While I'm doing this presentation, if you all don't mind holding your questions to the end for due to time constraints, that would be much appreciated. So as we get started, the first program I'm going to cover is CalWorks HSP. This is a very, very special program, as this program allows us to serve families with minor children that are experiencing homelessness. This good work is a collaboration amongst Housing Authority and the Department of Public Social Services, so DPSS, and we are allowed to help any individual who is connected to CalWorks who is experiencing homelessness obtain permanent housing within not only Riverside but also our neighboring counties. So this program is very special because not only does it serve a special population, families with minor children, but it also allows us to not only serve Riverside residents, but it allows us to serve Riverside residents who are wanting to move potentially into stable areas outside of our county. One very important thing to note is that we over at the Housing Authority are often associated with Section 8. And this is not a Section 8 program. This is a rapid rehousing funded program. So it's going to be short-term rental assistance. Next slide, please. So for this program, again, this is a collaboration amongst DPSS and the Housing Authority team. So in order for a client to ultimately be referred to CalWorks HSP, that referral must initiate from the DPSS side. With that being said, they are going to determine not only the eligibility, but DPSS also determines the time frame that we are allowed to assist these clients. Typical timeframes of assistance can vary from anywhere between 6 months to about a year. I included a chart here that shows the housing support program and the maximum rent that we are able to pay on behalf of clients. So just for your guys' purposes here. Next slide. All right, so once a client is determined eligible for the program, the type of assistance that can be rendered on their behalf, we will cover in the next couple of slides. But this slide, what I really wanted to focus on is the type of units that clients can move into. So of course, clients can move into apartments, your typical house setting. But on this slide, what I really wanted to showcase is that not only does this project allow us to help clients access your typical settings, apartments, studios, and homes, but it also allows us to house individuals in shared housing opportunities, in mobile homes, in trailers, and in rooms for rent. So it really allows us to look at all different types of settings and all different types of situations that will best work financially for the family. Next slide. Now, what is going to be included in this assistance? So once a family is determined eligible and they find a unit, this program can help with security deposit. It can help with the first month's rent. It can help with the last month's rent. It can also help with the landlord incentive. So maybe that landlord is a little bit weary about working with us and our team. This is the first time they've maybe dibble-dabbled in subsidy provided collaboration. This would allow us to educate them as to what we are able to do. We speak to the realistic opportunities that we have here, and then ultimately we can pay them a landlord incentive fee just for working with us. And that can be a payment of up to $1,000. For the clients, we are not only able to pay for their move-in and security deposit, but we can also pay for their utilities, the opening utility bills, but then also in knowing that accessing and sustaining housing, sometimes our clients come with barriers as utility arrears. This would allow us to either pay for the utilities moving forward and also clear any debts or arrears that they have. In addition to that, we are also able to help clients afford pet deposits. So that would be something that we would definitely cover under our funding. Next slide. What else can we assist with? Because it's not just those. We got more goodies in our bag. We can also assist with reimbursement to application fees. The emphasis on that is reimbursement. The client would have to pay out of pocket, but we would definitely reimburse them for that application fee. We are also able, this is really cool, once a client moves into their unit, we are able to give them a $150 move-in voucher. So that could help them with anything that they need. It could be buying toiletries, it could be decorating the unit, making that unit into a home, whatever they need. And then we are also able to pay past due storage fees with this funding. Moving forward, please. All right, so how do you get a client into this program? So first and foremost, the easiest way to know if your client is eligible for this program, if you are working with families who are actively receiving cash aid and CalWorks, they are likely to be eligible on the basis that they have not used this assistance in the past year. Now, if your client is receiving cash aid, but they have not been referred to HSP yet, they can go about it in one of two ways. You as a caseworker can send an email to hsp@rivco.org on behalf of the client. The client can also initiate a referral by sending the same said email to hsp@rivco, or they can schedule or drop into the DPSS office and work and ask their CalWorks caseworker to go ahead and assist them and make that referral on their behalf. So the really unique thing about this program is that there's 3 points of entry for referrals. It could be through us and the outreach. It could be client-based. And then it could also be as the client is working with their caseworker, maybe they determine, hey, this is a need. So it can happen also naturally throughout their own case management with their DPSS caseworker. Next slide. Now we're going to move on to the second program here. This program is called VASH, Veteran Affairs Supportive Housing. It is very, very specific to veteran families. So how this program works, this is a voucher. This is permanent supportive housing at its finest. This is taking a Section 8 voucher and it is combining it with wraparound services. The wraparound services come from the Housing Authority in collaboration with the VA. Housing Authority, our bread and butter, is paying that housing subsidy. The bread and butter from the VA is the case management. So how this program works is just like with HSP, the referral must come from that department. So in HSP, the referral must come from DPSS. In this situation, the referral must come from the VA. The VA will determine the criteria to determine that client eligible. And then once they're determined eligible, they send the referral to our team. Next slide, please. This just goes over the eligibility. Of course, the veteran must be an eligible veteran based upon VA screening. And then we work off the 80% area median income. And the next slide is going to show you what that looks like. In order for a veteran to be eligible, they must be a naturalized citizen, the head of household, and they cannot be a lifetime registered sex offender. On this slide here, what I really wanted to showcase is the difference in income. So for a individual who is accessing or going to utilize a Section 8 voucher, the income limits are the 50% area median. So that's going to be that top row of income there. Now for VASH, our program allows our veterans to have up to 80% of the area median income. So if you look at the difference between a household of one, it is substantial. Section 8 is going to limit that family at not making more than, or that person, I'm sorry, for a household of one, they're not allowed to make more than $39,000 and $200, right? So then for VASH, our veterans are able to make $62,000 and $650. So that would be our cutoff there. The next slide is going to go over payment standards. So once you determine a veteran eligible and they're issued the voucher, we're going to obviously be asking how much rent can we afford? Our VASH program operates off of the Housing Choice Voucher payment standard. So once a veteran is looking to go pursue a unit, if they are a one-person household, they could go into a studio or even a one-bedroom here. So this here shows the payment standards that are affordable for a studio, a one-bedroom, two-bedroom, and so on and so forth. Next up, most importantly, how do you get a veteran connected to VASH? Well, this is going to be the information for you here. So since that referral must come from the VA, we are going to ask that you contact the VA first. That's going to be Mr. Rolando Perez, Ruben Gonzalez, and Oscar Ramirez. Next slide. HOPWA. So our last program that I'm going to cover today. HOPWA is a program that is specifically called Housing Opportunities for Persons with AIDS. So this is a program that the Housing Authority has had for quite some time. And we're very, very just proud of the program and how it has grown substantially over these last couple of years. So HOPWA, what are we able to do with HOPWA? Next slide, please. HOPWA. HOPWA supports individuals who need short-term rental mortgage, utility assistance. There is some placements, they are limited, but we do have permanent housing placement, and we do have facility-based housing assistance. That's going to be specifically a project-based site called Vista Sunrise Apartments. So we have 10 units in which they are dedicated solely to our HOPWA beds here. Now, if you have somebody who is potentially eligible under HOPWA, how do you get them connected to supports and get them connected to resources? It's really easy. I got Jennifer Franco's information here and Syra. If you send an email or if you call one of these lovely ladies, they will go ahead and do a quick little screening, and then we will either be able to assist you within our own agency or we will refer you out to one of our subrecipients. Now that was a lot of information in a very short time frame. Do I have any questions?
Fantastic
I'm just going to
job.
say thank you.
Oh.
I must have done a good job if there's no questions.
Yeah, Lisa, did you have a question?
Okay, I was trying to figure out how to get my mic back on. Yes, so my question is regarding the veterans. Is that for apartments or do you pay for rooms also?
Beautiful question. So since this is a housing choice voucher program, that voucher can be utilized at your typical apartment setting. So studios, 1 bedrooms, 2 bedrooms, whatever the veteran or the family of the veteran may qualify for. It could also be utilized at a home if they qualify. It could also be used for mobile homes. The caveat for mobile homes, they have to have a fixed foundation. And then we also do have authorization to lease up in shared housing situations. So yes.
Thank you.
Let's see. Do we have Julie?
Thank you. Thanks so much for sharing about all the programs. We have a client who is a veteran, and he is in the, I'm not sure what stage, but he does have cognitive challenges. He owns a mobile home, and it's a mess, and it's uninhabitable, but his income doesn't allow him to fix it up. He does get Section 8 for the rent portion because he doesn't own the property under it, the pad. Would he qualify? And I don't know, obviously, the ownership of, if that would put him ineligible as assets for the program to maybe move along in terms of veteran housing?
Got it. So Julie, thank you for that question. What I heard you say was actually a couple of different indicators and variables that caught my attention. So what I would love to say is maybe I can connect with you offline to kind of really deep dive that. If the veteran already has Section 8, he would be ineligible for VASH. And then as far as the mobile home would be considered an asset. Now, would it automatically put him over the income threshold? I would have to look at a couple of different variables to ultimately conclude that. So maybe me and you can connect outside of this this platform, if you don't mind.
Yeah, that's perfect. Thank you.
And before we toss it over to Mike Walsh, Gina, I may have missed it, but I know the really great thing about HSP is that DPSS also provides emergency motel assistance. So it's nice for the full continuum, right? If folks here that are listening that have clients that are families that are eligible for how it works, they can get emergency motel assistance and then be tracked on to rapid rehousing assistance. So
1000%. Thank you, Karen, for highlighting that. One of the embedded supports within HSP is that the families are all authorized a 2-week stay in emergency shelter. So absolutely, we would have the ability to go straight from street to shelter with the plausibility of then accessing housing. The same goes for VASH as well, because we do have a lot of different VASH resources and supports, especially in this county. It is also likely that if we have a veteran that is in need, we could get them connected to like GPD through the VA or through maybe even emergency shelter through like our providers like SSVF or Lighthouse. So yes.
Great. Mr. Walsh.
Gina does such a fabulous job. Like, so great job, Gina. I just wanted to highlight with Riverside County Housing Workforce Solutions, one of our other divisions has a program specifically tailored towards rehabilitation of mobile homes. So Julie, I'll put the in connection in the chat. This would be for low income folks, particularly those with code violations that will be rolling out in the spring of next year. So I'll put the my contact information, but also more importantly, the person who actually knows how this actually works to make that come together. But like just the full circle of programs and services that make that happen.
Thank you so much, Mike. That's great. It looks like Lisa, did you have a question?
Yes, I have another question. Gina, thank you so much for everything so far. So my question now is for the HSP program and the VASH program. What is a realistic timeline turnaround from the time they apply to that they are actually can be I guess they get a certificate so that they can be housed? What is the turnaround time? Because I have 3 people that contacted me this week, and our facility is not open yet. And so basically, I'm just learning all the different contacts and everything right now. So basically, I've just been referring them to H Hope and the 211. But it would be good to know what is the if I can get some more information and know where to refer them. What is the turnaround time for people that say, "Oh, I'm going to be put out next week"?
Perfect question. And thank you for that. And I actually see we have Renee Huxet on the line as well. So she's actually my other partner in crime that helps me run this beautiful program called HSP. So with HSP, the application, the determination of eligibility happens very, very quickly. DPSS is very on top of that. Renee, I'm not sure if you would like to speak to specific timeframes, but I would say on my end and in my opinion, it could be same day in some cases. And again, it's a case by case basis, but it could be very quickly. Now, in the VASH realm of things, that is a little bit different of a beast to overcome because that is a federally funded program and it is connection to a VASH voucher. We would need all of the different documentation associated with that client. So if that client has income, we need their income. If they have assets in the sense of checking accounts, savings accounts, retirement accounts, we would need proof of the different accounts in addition to proof of identification. So that's going to be your standard California ID, driver's license, or birth certificate and social security card. So if the individual or the household and the member has all of that information, it could be very quick. Now, if we're working with the household to obtain these documents, that's where timeframes can vary. But in the vein of time, I also want to give one more shout out for anybody that is working with veterans. If you have a veteran that is currently experiencing homelessness, tomorrow is a perfect opportunity to get this veteran connected to a VASH voucher. Tomorrow is the longest night of the year, and there's going to be 2 different locations for this event. I need to emphasize specifically the Riverside location. So the longest night of the year that is held at the Fairmont Park in Riverside. We will have our VASH team and the VA there to conduct eligibility and to issue vouchers if needed. Live on the spot.
And for the partners that are out there, whether you happen to be a city that has resources that you fund or nonprofits or other organizations, and you are providing some form of motel shelter or rapid rehousing, we're in this time where we have more limited resources, and the beauty of coordinating and collaborating in the continuum of care is that we can leverage resources and stretch them further and to provide continuity of care for our clients. And all the programs that Gina mentioned are amazing, but just to give you guys an example, because Brian referenced our Corona Norco partnership. Both of those cities fund motel shelter and rapid rehousing assistance. But what we do is partner with DPSS and HWS. We help them, they help us, and we mutually stretch our funds further. So I think now more than ever, all of us together need to be thinking about how we can do that to stretch resources and help one another out. So I just wanted to throw that shout out to you guys. And Gina, you're a rock star. You do a great job. And I just want to thank you for providing a wonderful overview of the programs that you oversee.
Thank you. It was a pleasure. I appreciate y'all.
All right. Shall we move on to the next agenda item? Okay, agenda item 5.1, Continuum of Care feedback survey. You all may recall a number of months ago, I had asked you guys to participate in a survey. We want to emphasize to you, myself as the chair and Michelle as the vice chair, and all the staff that provides support to the Continuum of Care, that these meetings are for you and we are at your service. It is our privilege to provide the best meetings to be able to empower you and educate you and get you tapped into resources to do the good work that you do. So it's important for us to get feedback from you about these meetings. There's a one page or a couple page report that is in the Google Drive that you can download. And of course, you all can access the slides as well. But I do want to just quickly take you through the results of the 2025 survey and just let you know what everybody had to say. So we did have 21 respondents. And overall, the feedback did indicate strong satisfaction with our meetings, topic structure, with recommendations on improving engagement, inclusivity, and system-wide impact. There was great feedback about the meetings and also satisfaction with the, you know what, let's go ahead to the next slide because I think it'll go over the little pie charts that might be easier. Oh, okay. So topics, we asked you for feedback on topics that you would like to hear at future Continuum of Care meetings. So just quickly, you can see at the top, cross-sector housing partnerships, training and capacity building, trauma-informed and culturally responsive care, anonymous case conferencing, improved wraparound service coordination, grants, and legislative updates. We do some of that, but it sounds like you all want to do more. LGBTQ and youth homelessness, trans-led organizations, resource fairs, and leadership spotlights. So that's great. We do those and we will continue. Suggestions for engagement and inclusivity, more open discussions, partner presentations, and sharing of successes and challenges. So I think there's a lot of opportunity to do that with the different presentations where maybe we focus more on not just what is happening with these programs, but the successes that they're achieving, but also some of the challenges because we all are in this together. So I really think that is going to be very helpful. If we can, I agree with the feedback. It's wonderful. Let me see, visual aids, interactive tools, pre-submitted questions and answers, hybrid meeting options, broader meeting advertisement, training and technical assistance needs. So trauma-informed evidence-based practice training, peer learning opportunities and guidance on agency outcomes, grants management, and grant writing. So all phenomenal feedback. Thank you, guys. Let's go ahead to the next slide. Here's just some 50,000 foot level overview of the feedback that you gave. So 67% of those that participated actually attend every single meeting. That's impressive. And 100% were satisfied or very satisfied with the topics. So you can see the rating on meeting structure. So no poor ratings. You got mostly excellent, good, and just a tiny bit fair. So then most useful impacts on standing agenda items. You can see the pie chart. looks like the leads updates from the county teams, coordinated entry, housing resource policy updates, leadership spotlight, and all in all, good feedback about the agenda items, but we can see where most helpful is to you guys in terms of education, and it looks like it's housing resource policy updates and the continuum of care lead updates. And then meeting time efficiency, it looks like we're managing the meetings pretty well. So let's go ahead and move on to the next slide. Effectiveness of meeting facilitation. So no negative feedback. We have effective and very effective. We had some interesting comments about facilitation, which I think we can huddle with the county team and look at how we might be able to incorporate some of that. One was anonymous feedback using Mentimeter. I have never used it, but I did a search, and I know what that is if we're in a group and we're discussing some kind of a topic and we want to see up on a screen how everybody feels about it, they can like input their rating and then everybody can see it. So I think when we huddle with the county team about upcoming initiatives where we need to get some feedback, you know, we can talk about how we can incorporate that type of a tool. I think that would be a really great thing for us to do. And then more visual aids such as slides, charts, and live note taking during meetings. The one thing that I will say though, regarding anonymous feedback, when we do that, we would have to do it at when we're at the point where we're facilitating feedback, not necessarily where we're actually having to take official action on an agenda item. Because of the structure and the governance, if we're voting on something, we have voting members and they have to actually vote to take action. But there are many other things that I think we could do working together to provide some of that feedback. So we'll huddle with the county team and see, look at how we can tap into some of those technologies. So thank you guys for the feedback on that. Let's move to the next slide. Opportunities to engage, share input, or collaborate. So you can see how the pie chart looks there in terms of if you all feel that there are opportunities. There are some suggestions for engaging in inclusive meetings. So more open discussion opportunities, additional partner presentations, and visual imagery to maintain engagement. You guys have to tell you, I'm sorry, I have been under the weather, so I just have to tell you I'm not on top of my game today, so please forgive me. Create space for agencies to share monthly successes, challenges, and solutions. We do that. Continue inviting diverse agencies, providers, and frontline staff to participate. I hope you all will continue to invite as many diverse agencies that you feel, whether they're public or private, to become members and participate in the continuum of care. Advertising meetings to non-members countywide, I think we should think about how we can do that. We will definitely maintain the hybrid meeting options for flexibility. We even did that for the in-person meeting. You all had the opportunity to either attend or remote in, and we want to continue that because everybody's so busy, and this is a 7,300 square mile county, so we really want to do what we can to support that flexibility. And then add a brief Q&A section before announcements with an option to submit questions in advance. Was that the, oh no, one more slide, I think, isn't it, Zuli, on the feedback? Continuum of care, taking actionable and appropriate steps. So you can see we got great feedback about that. Some improvements: ensure equitable support for all communities, include more presentation from diverse partners, and incorporate visual elements. Point in time count data earlier. That'll be a topic definitely to discuss because that's there's a lot of work that goes into getting all of that data together. Integrate more voices of individuals with lived experience. Create a directory of shelters, housing units, and outreach teams. Zuli, do you want to drop into the chat? We already have something posted on the website. I think it is a list of the shelters. So you guys had some great feedback where we can take this list and add to it the housing element as far as where the housing units are. And then also, I know Tanya and team keep a list of all the outreach teams across the region. So great feedback on that. We can definitely build that list for you all. And then let's see. Increase involvement from the county workforce development departments, a great suggestion. All of these are wonderful. Strengthen funding and advocacy to match regional needs. Boy, as we enter into a season of more challenges with funding, we should definitely be discussing more of that. Information about available grants for faith-based and nonprofit organizations. Increased visibility, outreach, and open communication with unhoused residents. Let's go to the next slide. And then I'll take questions at the end. Challenges and barriers. We wanted to hear from you guys about what challenges your clients were facing, as well as you as agencies are facing. And there was even some feedback earlier that I mentioned where we need to share more of this, because we need to be able to work together to problem solve so that we can do our utmost to be able to best serve the folks that we're trying to serve. So just very quickly, clients, the challenges and barriers, housing and employment discrimination, especially gender diverse clients, limited affordable housing, lack of available shelter beds, long waiting lists for low income units and vouchers, landlord discrimination, untreated mental health and behavioral health conditions, substance use, transportation, stable employment, limited access to no barrier or low barrier shelter, evictions, poor credit, strained family relationships, insufficient housing resources, and basic needs like food, water, shelter. And I'm sure we could add even more items to that list for basic needs. For agencies, need for equitable support and recognition of expertise, short-term restrictive and inflexible funding. That's a big one. High caseloads and staffing challenges, limited affordable housing, including PSH in certain areas, rising cost of living, transportation, fear of ICE, immigration, client intake referrals and meeting demand, need for diverse funding and grants supporting basic needs, political climate and anti-trans legislation, and loss of funding and reduced partnerships for trans-led organizations. I really felt it was important to take you all through that, because your feedback is extremely important, and we want to be able to share it openly and have an honest, open discussion about what we can do and where we can do it and how it would be feasible to continue to improve our meetings. And also to remember that, you know, there's other opportunities that we can look at with the Policy Advocacy Committee and its subcommittees and other committees of the Continuum of Care, as well as the multidisciplinary educational webinars that HWS provides for the Continuum of Care. So lots of opportunities, not just for Continuum of Care, but just know all those things I mentioned are an extension of the Continuum of Care as well. So with that, I think that's the last of the feedback. Yes. So let's go ahead. If you have questions, I hope that you will not just ask questions, but comment. You guys, I'd really love to hear from you about the feedback. And if some of you were too busy and maybe you didn't have time to provide feedback, it's not too late. We'd love to hear from you. Please, please don't be shy. These meetings are for you, and it's really important to us to do a good job for you. So let's see. Joshua, let's hear it. Are you there, Joshua?
Yes, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yes, yes, go ahead.
Hold on, just a moment. I had to yes, I wanted to know if there's any if there's any bidders conferences, um, because some of these grants, they're very difficult to fill out, and sometimes I have to pay a grant writer to write some of these grants, and sometimes I use templates. I'm not sure if you guys do the same, but I wanted to know if there's any bidders conferences. And another question that I want to ask, in the use of funds section, there's always some type of use of funds section in many grants, right? So I wanted to know, like, I have an idea, because I know that people can't afford first month's rent, last month's rent when they're trying to move into an apartment. I wanted to know if grants could be used to lease houses that are vacant and turn around and sublease those houses, to offer supportive services to the people that are moving in, um, with the idea of, you know forming some type of sober living or transitional housing program for them. Is that a possibility?
Well, I'll answer at a high level, and then hopefully Tanya, if you want to chime in. So just so you know, there's always through the continuum of care, there's always opportunities for the release of RFPs, and they will have bidders conferences for each of the unique RFPs. And I know there's discussion about capacity building and training, and then depending upon the funding source, there have been opportunities to fund programs that you mentioned. So there's a lot of different funding sources that fund different activities in the continuum of care. Tanya?
I'm sorry, Madam Chair. Tanya is not available to talk, but I do want to hop in and invite Joshua to contact us at coc@rifco.org, and we can do a one-on-one. We can talk more regarding what you're trying to do. But I just want to echo what Karen mentioned is each of our requests for proposals, the RFPs, they do have non-mandatory bidders conference prior to the submission date of those proposals. So I was trying to respond to you in the chat. And so we do have some of the past ones posted, but we do have one coming up with the release of today's RFP, which I'll talk about later on the agenda. So I invite you to reach out to the coc@rivco.org for more substantial conversation regarding what it is that you would like to do.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Gina. Oh, I'm sorry.
Go for it.
No, please.
Yeah, I had an idea. And my idea was to find some of these vacant houses, um, and talk to some of these investors, talk to some of these landlords, and possibly um, use grants to either lease or purchase some of these houses, so we can get some of these people off the streets, because I know that it's a longer wait and a longer process when you're trying to transition to, move into an apartment. And some people might, um, it's something I heard of called room and board. It's something I heard of, where some of these college students are moving into dorms, with the student housing. And I wanted to create uh, a program for people, who can't afford, um, who can't really, get into some of these apartments, and let them live in the house, possibly for free or for a small fee, and just make house rules and have them sign like a lease agreement. Um, I was wondering if grants can be used for those purposes. That was another question I wanted to ask.
You can feel free to reach out to coc@rivco.org, and we can have the conversation for further with you, because there's different programs for different types of housing.
Okay, Gina, did you have something to add, or did you have questions?
Yes, thank you, Karen. I just wanted to add to Jerome, to Joshua's first question. In my experience with working with like nonprofits and maybe some CBO based resources, one way that they have mitigated hiring grant writers is, and I have also been to this training, and I definitely recommend it. There is a resource called Grant Management USA, and they are a plethora of knowledge. They have a huge resource center that has a lot of different templates that could help you. It's an amazing resource to help you kind of understand on a basic basis. Then also it has different trainings and opportunities that will be more specific to those that maybe have been doing this a while and what have you. But all of that to say, there is definitely a resource out there that could help you mitigate your plausibility of hiring a grant writer to help you, get access to these fundings. And that would be specifically through Grant Management USA.
That's very helpful, Gina. Thank you. Lee.
Thank you so much, Karen. Joshua, if you want to reach out to me, I'm at Starting Over Inc. And we do have some of our housing models is very similar to what you're talking about. That we do have transitional homes that are covered under a grant, that we're able to help people specifically that have our system impacted and are formerly incarcerated. So if I'm gonna pop my email into the chat. Feel free to reach out to me.
Lee, that's beautiful, because I was just going to mention that one of the things we've tried to do is to pair up newer organizations or folks that are in the space with agencies that have experience. You guys do such a great job of that. And I'm thinking of like Carol Alba and Faith in Action, starting out as a small nonprofit organization and just doing everything possible to reach out and learn from other seasoned organizations, and even to look to where there might be co-partnership opportunities where you can actually build that relationship and experience by linking up with another more seasoned organization. So Lee, that was wonderful. Thank you so much.
No,
Love to see that kind of love and support among the agencies. It's really wonderful. Does anybody else have
there's
any?
enough space in all the there's enough space for everybody. So come on board.
Love it. Any other questions or comments? Okay, let's go ahead and move on to the next agenda item. Okay, agenda item 5.2, fiscal year 2025 HUD Continuum of Care Program and Scorecards. Miss Tanya, I know we have an action. Zuli, do we have a quorum so that we can take action after Tanya presents?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. All right, Miss Tanya, the floor is yours. Oh, and Rashana.
Well, good afternoon again. Thank you, Madam Chair. Rashana Walker, Acting Principal Development Specialist with Housing and Workforce Solutions, Office of Homeless Services. As you may recall, at our August 20th CLC meeting, the CLC approved the 2025 HUD CLC scorecards to be used to review and renew new and renewal projects. However, when the NOFO was released on November 13th, there were some significant changes, which meant we had to pivot and make some changes to the scorecards that were previously approved to align with HUD's new priorities. Now, we do want to acknowledge that we know that the NOFA was withdrawn on December 12th. However, we are continuing to move forward with our strategic plan that we discussed at our last CLC meeting and for our process for now, because we don't know when HUD will re-release the NOFO, as they did say it will be re-released, or if there will be any changes to that one that was previously released. With that being said, the revised scorecards, we have posted them on the Google Drive for your review, but I want to make note of the changes that were made to align with the NOFO. Additionally, I do want to say that previously, we only had 2 scorecards for all projects, one for the new projects and then one for the renewal projects. Now we created scorecards for each eligible project type. Hence the reason why you should see 7 scorecards on the drive. We want to take some time to go through these changes, only highlighting the key changes in respect for time. And with that being said, Julie, if you can move to the next slide. We're starting with the supportive services standalone projects. And that second page of that project, I want to highlight that the changes for the points, we changed the points to align with the NOFO. Also, we added experience in operating SSO standalone projects, and those SSO standalone projects could be projects such as case management only projects, linking them to supportive services. I do want to add, though, each of our project types will have that specific experience with that specific project type. So that was added to align with the NOFO. Then the next addition or changed was experience with coordinating employment services. Again, that was added to this year's NOFO with the HUD's new priorities, which actually it really focused on self-sufficiency. I don't know if any one of you all or who all had a chance to look at it. It's since then been withdrawn, but it highly focused on self-sufficiency. So we added that experience with coordinating with employment services. Also, experience with coordinating substance use treatment. Those were highly talked about, and it's one of their HUD's priorities. So we added that to each of our project scorecards. Also, too, in project design, that was increased. Those points was increased. So it shows that we wanted to add the collaborative service framework when maintaining long-term housing stability. Again, tying back to those employment and substance use treatment. We added that and we increased those points since that was a major priority in this new NOFO. We increased the services plan points. We also increased the strategy for supportive services, being that supportive services was a huge component of this year's NOFO. And then we added leveraging supplemental and public and private resources. The next addition or revision, I should say, was partnering with first responders and law enforcement. That was a huge component of this year's NOFO, so much that the COC, if you can recall, we voted to add a seat at our on our board of governance because the HUD wants to see that we are partnering with our first responders and law enforcement. So that was added to the scorecards. And then we increased the points to 25 points for systems compliance to align with the NOFO. And then annual assessments, we added that because the NOFO, again, everything that was added was because of, most of everything that was added was because of the NOFO and its priorities. So that the annual assessments were added, project reasonableness and timely drawdowns of funds. Those were added because HUD wants to prioritize projects that are high performing projects. So we wanted to add that for our scorecards, and that is added for all project types. And I believe that was the last, if you advance to the next slide, Julie, as you can see, those are the points that changed throughout this project scorecard. And that was for our supportive services only. Street outreach, like I said, a lot of the same additions for the street outreach. So, and they are all highlighted on the drive as well. So, again, pointing out the connections to supportive services, leveraging supplemental public and private resources. Those points were increased. Partnering with law enforcement, pretty much the same additions or revisions for this project type as well. And then as you can see, with the rapid rehousing, if you advance, then that project type, pretty much those were the same, it's the same additions that we added from the previous project type. I want to advance to new transitional housing project types, because most of the other changes are the same that I spoke about for the first program. Now, for permanent supportive housing, this was the one that had most of the biggest changes. Of course, experiencing experience with operating transitional housing, that was a big addition to this year's NOFO. Actually, transitional housing period was a big addition to this year's NOFO. So they want to see those agencies who have that experience with operating those transitional projects, again, pairing that with the supportive services, with a strong connection for employment and substance use. Those points were added, or that project type was added to our project scorecards, because as you all know, transitional housing was not a HUD funded, well, not a HUD CLC funded project type. It went away in 2012, I believe, and now they brought it back. So we had to add it back in. One thing is number 7, the collaborative services framework to maintain long-term housing. The project design, it's 104 points. So those points increase because they want to see those strong connections to services that support long-term housing solutions and sustainability. And then the other thing I want to call out, because we, again, a lot of the other stuff was in the other project scorecards, was the provider services and engagement requirements, number 14. We added that language from the NOFO, as well as exits to housing and employment. I know some of the providers on the line, we have been pushing increase in income. Well, with this new NOFO, we want to really push increase of income for earned income, increase of earned income. So those individuals who can and able and willing to work, we want to increase those exits to housing and employment. And then I think that's the last thing I want to call out for that one, because I already talked about the other revisions and the other project types. And then the supportive services, the new permanent supportive housing projects. We wanted to add, we did add the prior experience with operating permanent supportive housing, but we want to see those who have successfully helped elderly individuals, which it is called out in the NOFO. An elderly is 62 plus individuals with a physical disability or impairment of impairment of a developmental disability, and that is not including substance use. So this year's NOFO, well, the NOFO that was released and then withdrawn, it called out developmental disability, not including substance use. So we want to make sure that experience was noted in our scorecards, aside from all of the other collaboration and supportive services linkages for long-term sustainability. And as well, the project design, the points increased based off of the this year's NOFO increase in points as well. And I believe, oh, we also have, because we have added, and this was something that OHS is recommending that we do, is we wanted to add points for those individuals, which you saw who have experience with implementing HUD programs currently. But we also want to make sure that we are also with those agencies, the the accountability as well, because HUD is looking for those agencies that can quickly draw down funds in a timely fashion, because they don't want to show that funds are sitting. So we added that to our project scorecards, because HUD is looking at those our accounts, our ELOX accounts, and if we have funds that are just sitting because agencies are not providing those timely claims and draws, we added it to our project scorecards under the fiscal management. And that was I have a couple more, again, same revisions. However, the coordinated entry, for the coordinated entry SSO projects, we added a lot. We added about 3 categories, which is availability, advertising, assessment tools, and referral outcomes. So HUD is looking at performance-based projects. They will be prioritizing those projects that have performed well in the past. So that's the reason why we added those 4 categories for our coordinated entry SSO projects. And then obviously we have our HMIS renewal project. Same thing. We added the four categories for HMIS under systems compliance, because again, it is all performance-based. They are prioritizing those projects that are high performers. So we wanted to highlight that in our scorecards. I know I went through a lot of revisions, which is why we put it on the drive for you all to review. With that being said, I'm going to pause and see if there are any questions regarding these project scorecards. I see a question from
Ria.
Thank you so much, Ms. Walker. I was just wondering, if for all of the projects that HUD has, is one of their basic requirements a background check that the person, homeless or not, cannot have any felonies? Is that one of their basic requirements for these projects?
Not for HUD COC.
Oh, okay.
Ms. Rashana, I wonder if it's worth mentioning. I know we talked about this at the Board of Governance. The NOFA was withdrawn. The jury's still out in terms of what is going to be happening. I think you guys are all, the staff are doing a great job trying to reconstruct and align with all of HUD's new priorities to ensure that we can get every penny, because it's now much more highly competitive. I think 70% of the bucket. So a lot is at stake here. So kudos to you guys for doing a phenomenal job to pivot so quickly. But just so we can have the benefit of discussion with the Continuum of Care members, if for some reason HUD were to say, due to litigation, we're going to go ahead and revert back to giving more opportunity for renewals under the old construct. We talked about the pre-vetting that's already been done, so that if for some, miracle that happened, You want to talk about that? I'm not trying to get people's hopes up. I just, we got to be in the world of contingency planning, and you guys are doing great being ready to pivot, and that's what we have to do. So
I not to get people's hopes up. I pray that if they don't re-release it, they say, okay, we're just going to automatically renew all of our 2024 HUD projects.
Yeah.
That's a possibility. I think it's slight, but
remote,
I
yeah.
still pray.
Yeah.
And that, I mean, everything is a possibility. There is a court hearing on Friday to which we may hear something on that day. We don't know, but we're still trying to move forward with our contingency plan, with our plan of creating new projects, which is why, and I'll put this plug out, we do have a request for information from agencies out for agencies out to gauge interest and the types of projects that agencies may be interested in operating. So that submission you can find on our website. That RFI you can find on our website, and that submission is due on this Friday, 12/19. So just make sure if you're interested, we just want to know the types of projects that you're interested in operating, and that's a request for information. And Joshua, we don't have a bidders conference for that one because it's only a request for information. But I do want to say that we plan on submitting releasing a formal RFP in February, sometime in February. So we can actually seek proposals at that time.
And Julie
that
just
will have a
posted
bid.
it. She just posted the link for the RFI. So, and
Oh,
it was sent
good,
to, it was
good.
emailed to all the Continuum of Care members, but it's nice to have it there in case someone wants to go ahead and click the link. So, are there any other questions of Roshana? Because I think you need us to take action. Is that correct?
Absolutely, we do.
Okay. Any other questions or comments from the members? Okay, so let's go ahead and see the action item up on the screen so I can facilitate the action we need to take. Okay, so the recommended motion is to approve the fiscal year 2025 HUD Continuum of Care project scorecards to be used for new projects. Do I have a motion to approve the recommended action?
This is Angelina Coe, Joseph from the Storm, and I make that motion.
Thank you, Angelina. Do I have a second?
I'll second. This is Soraya, My Baby, My Way Foundation.
Do I have any abstentions or objections? Hearing none, the item passes. Okay,
Thank
team.
you.
We know you guys are going to be, you're like at the starting blocks, right?
We are, and I just want to let the Continuum of Care know we had a convening with several Continuum of Cares nationwide last week, and the room was split. Some paused their course of action, and some was like, no, we're still moving forward because there's no telling what HUD is going to do. So thank you all.
Yeah, no, I think you guys they're wise recommendations. And no matter what happens, we're gonna do a good job serving people. And so, good things happen from change. So with that, we'll go ahead and move to the consent items. We have the November 19th, 2025 Continuum of Care meeting minutes for approval. Do I have a motion to approve? Don't be shy, you guys.
I'll motion to approve. This is Kim Askew, Labor of Love.
Okay, thank you. Do I have a second?
I'll second it. Rita Garrett from Strides.
Thank you. Any abstentions or objections?
This is Angelina Coe, I abstain.
I'm sorry?
Madam Chair,
Yes.
I did want to note to announce that the first and second would have to be by voting members. I don't believe Ria is a voting member just yet.
Okay. Was that for the
Second, that was for the
okay.
second. Mm-hmm.
So
I can
may I have
second. This is Soraya with my baby.
Thank you.
Okay. And no
And Madam
abstentions or
Chair,
objections?
this is Angelina Coy, abstain.
Okay. Thank you, Angelina. Any other abstentions or objections? Hearing none, the item passes. Thank you, team. Let's go ahead and move to the next agenda item. Item 7, standing items. Rashonda, the floor is yours again.
Good afternoon again. So we just want to make sure that everyone is aware that earlier today we released a request for proposal for our youth homelessness demonstration program, our permanent supportive housing. We released it today, and you can find that request for proposal on our website, or if someone can drop actually it's on the same link that Zuli dropped in earlier, but if we can drop it in again for those who may have missed it. Our request for proposal went out today for our YHDP permanent supportive housing. And like I mentioned earlier, that bidders conference will happen January 6th of 2026, hard to believe, at 10 a.m. And you can find that link attached to the RFP that went out earlier today. So please feel free to email us, or if you have any questions, email the CLC at rifco.org, and we will get back to you because we do have a question and answer period as well regarding that RFP. Secondly, we want to announce that we will be having our Proposition 47 Local Advisory Committee meeting January 21st at 3 p.m. And this meeting, our local advisory meeting, will be held in conjunction with our Veteran Services department. So if you are interested in joining our local advisory committee, please feel free to join us January 21st at 3 p.m. And that's for our Proposition 47 program. So those who are justice involved and who are experiencing substance use or mental health disorder. And then lastly, which was talked about earlier in the presentation or in the agenda, our longest night of the year, which will be held tomorrow from 5 to 8 in Fairmont Park. And this flyer is for our Riverside location. And if someone has a flyer for our Hemet location, because we are doing it in Hemet as well. But our longest night of the year will be held tomorrow at Fairmont Park and in Hemet from 5 to 8. So
it says both, Rashonda, you're good.
Huh?
It says both, you're good.
It does?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. So feel free to join us for any of those, either of those remembrance or memorials. So that is when we come together and honor or remember those who have lost their lives while living on the streets of our county. So that is our longest night memorial, and that is tomorrow, Thursday, December 18th. And with that, that is all of our updates. I'll hand it back over to you, Madam Chair.
Thank you. Questions or comments before we move on? Okay. Hearing none, we'll go to the coordinated entry update. Miss Lucy, you have the floor.
Good afternoon. Can everyone hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. So Lucy Bustos, Social Service Planner for the Coordinated Entry System of Riverside County. So for today, I'll be going over some data trends, some areas of improvements, and just some things that CS has identified for improvements and what we'll be doing moving forward. We'll also be going over some requests and updates. Next slide. So regarding Home Connect calls, there were 833 total phone calls that were answered and had an outcome logged. Of those calls, 760 resulted in diversion, but providing resources to prevent homelessness or eviction, while 190 of the calls were screened and linked to the coordinated entry system. So of those screened, we had about 46 families, 2 identified as veterans, 17 55 plus, and 9 of transitional aged youth, with the remaining phone calls being either out of county callers that were redirected to appropriate county contact or general inquiries such as like updates within their process and CES. Slide. So the end of November accounted for roughly 971 members on the community queue. So it was a decrease from October's 1,030. And there was an addition of 171 that were made in the month of November. So CS does predict this number to go down and that's just so we can do trainings and stuff like that, that we were able to accurately be able to remove them in a timely manner from the queue. When looking at the cities with the highest number of residents on the queue, Riverside did see a decrease of 5 members from the month prior. Indio's queue saw a 21% increase, and Palm Springs did see a minor uptick of 12. CS has also referred 84 households last month to housing opportunities, 61 of which were connected to PSH, permanent supportive housing, and 21 to rapid rehousing opportunities. And when breaking down the composition of the referrals that were sent out last month, 18 were for those of 55 and older, 7 for TAY, 13 of those were for those fleeing domestic violence, and 1 that self-reported as a veteran. Next slide. So CS will be holding referral status check-ins to touch base with navigators and agencies that requested vacancy referrals to ensure that Home Connect referrals are not left in limbo, so to speak, and are closed out, whether it's successful or not, and to ensure that vacancies are not left open for an extended period of time. And to ensure if the client is declined by the agency or declines the opportunity, Home Connect is able to provide a follow-up in a timely manner. We'll also be facilitating training for onboarding HMIS users to acquire CES access. And our CS admin will sign off on the training completion, after which, and this will allow them, of course, access to CES on clarity. And the goal will be to prevent data quality errors or lapse in services once new staff begin and their embarkment on the monster that is HMIS. Next slide. So we are requesting agencies to present. I do hold my monthly resource meeting for partnership. I do see many of you there. So if you have an agency that you think would be perfect to present, whether it's Mid-County region, any agencies that will be offering rental assistance, any justice involved specific agencies or services, please feel free to reach out to me. I'm more than happy to discuss and set up something to have them present. Next slide. And that is it. So if we're requesting feedback, please feel free to reach out to myself or Home Connect team. And the next slide will have all of our admin contact info. Thank you.
Any questions or comments for Ms. Lucy? Okay, Ms. Lucy, thank you to you and the whole Home Connect team. We appreciate you all so much.
Thank you.
Okay,
I
agenda item
have one
7.
question.
Okay.
I'm
Did I
sorry,
miss
when
it?
is the training going to happen? For
Sorry, go ahead.
For the HMIS system?
So I was just announcing that HMIS has partnered with us to make sure that those that are receiving access to HMIS must also get training with me personally to get access to the CES as well on HMIS. So if you've already sent in your form for HMIS, then they should reach out to you and myself to schedule something. If you're just looking for basic training or any type of training within HMIS, reach out to me and we can set something up either just individually or for your team or your agency.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
No problem.
Good questions. Anybody else? Okay, hearing none, we're going to move to agenda item 7.2, functional zero and veteran homelessness.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Good afternoon, COC members. This is Jun Zhang from the Coordinate Entry System. We're going to provide a little bit further insight into the veteran homeless population from the Coordinate Entry System, which is going to be on the next slide. So for the month of November 2025, we had 20 veterans on the CES community queue. And then from the by name list, 4 of them were document ready for housing referrals, and we had 4 members with pending rapid rehousing and permanent supportive housing referrals. And just a sneak peek for the month of December 2025, we have many more members who are going to have active referrals. So November 2025 was a slow month, but it really picked up in the beginning of this month, and you'll see that in the next month's slides. But that's all for me.
Any questions or comments? Okay, I think you have another update for us.
Yep, and then we're going to do something very similar for the TAY homeless population, which will be on the next slide. So for the month of November, we had 76 TAY members on the CSQ. For that month, of the 76, 27 were added during that month, so new additions. And then we had 23 who exited from the queue for the same month.
Any questions or comments? June, thank you so much. We really appreciate the good work that you do. Next agenda item. I think Craig doesn't have an update for today. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay, so we'll go ahead and move on to the next agenda item. So informational items, you can find copies of the committee reports in the Google Drive. We got to sign a letter of support for Faith in Action. Yay! We always love to sign those as the chair and vice chair of the Continuum of Care. And then if you should so desire, there are copies of annual performance reports in the Google Drive regarding the projects that are listed there. Next slide. At this time, we can entertain any calls for agenda items for the next meeting, which would be February, because we are dark in January. Any suggestions for agenda items? Okay, let's go ahead and move on to the next agenda item. Okay, announcements. At this time, if you have any announcements, I hope you do. It's an exciting time of year. Please don't be shy. We'd love to hear any announcements that you may have. Anybody?
Yes, my name is Rhea Garrett, and I want to announce a new house that I'm opening in the Desert Hot Springs area for homeless people that are on their way to self-sufficiency. In the new facility, I have 8 beds available. So
Wow.
don't know about funding yet, but anybody that is looking to just rent a bed, I do have beds available with washers and dryers, televisions, computer areas, and things like that. Really close, less than a quarter mile from the bus stops and the local shopping areas.
That's beautiful. That's great, you guys. Let's cheer her on. We always want to be so thankful for additional resources and to hear the resources spread across the region, right? So great to hear about more resources in that sector of our region. Thank you so much. Candace, did you have an announcement?
No, I need more information. If she can put something in the group chat or how we can, connect clients to that resource, any information so we can get all those beds filled.
Okay. So, Rhea, if you want to put your contact information in the group chat, that would be great. Any other announcements? Amy made an announcement earlier. I didn't realize that she was a famous singer, you guys. I told her I was going to put her on the spot. I wonder if she's still listening. I guess she's in some kind of a musical. Are you there, Amy?
I am.
We think you should do a quick little White Christmas so we can hear you sing a cappella.
All right.
Let's
All
hear it.
right, that's funny. I'm just thinking of white. You just want any Christmas song?
Yeah, you can do whatever you want.
Have yourself a merry little Christmas. Let your heart be light. From now on, our trouble will be out of sight. Is that good enough, or you want more?
You guys, let's give her a big hand. Yay!
Not even more. I am so hoarse from singing for 7 days, actually more than that in a row.
That was lovely. I'm sure if we did a poll, there's probably, with all of the amazing, smart, talented people that participate in this continuum of care, imagine
bet
if
there's
there
a
was
bunch.
a continuum of care talent show. Can you even imagine it? It would be amazing. We
It's
may have to do
surprising how many
something like
talented
that
people there are.
at the next in-person meeting, some kind of a little mini talent show, because there's so much talent that is thank you, Amy, that was beautiful. Let's see, does anybody else have any other announcements? If not, let's move to the next slide. The meeting is adjourned, and you see the next meetings that are there. So again, looks like there's a youth advisory board meeting in December, but other than that, the next big meetings for BOG and Continuum of Care and DFSP are not until February. So just want to say thank you all, blessings to you all. Hope that you have a wonderful holiday season, and please know that we appreciate the wonderful work that you do to transform lives every day. Take care. The meeting is adjourned.
Thank you, everyone.
Happy holidays, everyone. Take care of yourself out there.